I want to say, because I brought this up at the end of the Counterpoints episode that we did, and I think you're really missing out on this type of fucking content.
Here we go.
You need to do baking with Thorin. I'm telling you, you need to do it. It would be great. You do an interview, and it depends if you get like a big time sponsor. That'd be great if you can have somebody sponsor it, and you get
Weed Maps maybe.
Weed Map. I was actually thinking that. I was thinking that you get Weed Maps to sponsor it. You bring somebody in. You both take edibles, and then you do the interview, like 45 minutes later, and that would be banging content. And if you want to do it even like next level, you can do baking with Thorin while baked, and you guys are baking the edibles and doing the interview.
I mean, it's already known that I do all of my shows on cocaine, so like the chemical interaction would be completely it'd be fucked up, wouldn't it?
You shouldn't mix uppers and downers.
Exactly. Yeah. As I told them when they made the insert the Cloud9 roster, there's the joke. See, luckily only Canadians are going to really get that joke because you guys don't have that in America. But that was subtle enough; it worked. Yeah, keep that in.
Yeah, one thing that kind of like tilts me a little bit about Big's like personnel is like, okay, Toby, their coach, he was on Sprout for 2 years, and all Sprout was good at was picking up the best German talent that wasn't on Big. And I was casting the Meisterschaft League for this like last season, and Sprout had every single reason to win that tournament and win every match ever, but they were so undisciplined all the time, and they were like I think in a game I casted, they knifed people 12 times, and then they lost the match. Like,
wait a minute, actually 12 knife kills?
Yeah, like it was like they were
like
just
a best of 3 though, yeah?
No. It was a BO1 and during the season.
What the fuck? No way.
Yeah.
It's the best of 1 where someone got 12 knife kills.
But like their whole team was just knifing and smoke and stuff like that on Inferno. They were just throwing smokes, and dude, I was fucking dying like when I was casting it, but it was just like it was so hilarious. But it's like, dude, if you're a coach, like how are you kind of letting this happen? And then your team loses too. It's like, okay, Toby might not be bringing the discipline that they needed when they lost Gavi, is my opinion.
Right. I didn't 12 fucking knife kills in one game.
In defense of a coach, you could be the best coach in the world. People don't listen to you. Like, there's not much you can do.
True.
You know?
That's true, but like,
so I mean, not knowing him at all, I can't just shit on a guy, you know. But
here's the thing, though, even though I accept that, like, obviously, listen, that doesn't mean his game knowledge is shit, and obviously, maybe he does think disciplined about the game, right? But I will say this, to be fair, one area I had to like really change my perspective on coaches and in-game leaders is I no longer give a pass to in-game leaders who have exactly what you just said. So I'll give you an example, Corey. I would say that applied to Sean most of the time. Sean Gers, if you actually ever sat him down, almost every round he ever played, he knew what he wanted to do, what he should do, what's going to do next, what the demo was. Problem is, doesn't mean he could get every player to buy in. And I do think the angle of like, can you get the players to buy into what you do? That it shouldn't be the biggest factor because in a professional world, we'd all just do our jobs, wouldn't we? But unfortunately, in the current world, especially, that actually probably is the most important thing as a coach or in-game leader. I think getting people to actually want to do what you want to say. Even though in this scenario, maybe Daps is even right. If that was supposed to be a pun, fuck you.
No, it's about the.
If you actually said it's just about the sort of energy you put out, fuck you, David. Fuck you, absolute hack, motherfucker. You're as bad as not the new one, because I've noticed they've redesigned it now. Hex joined, but that previous NRG logo that they redesigned, that was so whack. I noticed when Hex joined, he obviously he's in like streetwear and shit. Instantly, they had a new logo that looked vaguely decent compared to it.
And they have the best fucking jerseys in the scene too. The best fucking those white and black jerseys. That's some of the best jerseys they have that we got in the scene. No, those are fucking sweet. But yeah, it's all about the energy you put out there. So I understand why Valve has released a statement how they did, because Valve has pretty much said. Valve has vaguely covered everything and sent a warning out to everybody, like in a super low-key way, where they're just like, "All right, play nice with the content creators, and nobody else be a piece of shit."
Problem is, though, dude, even that angle doesn't really work, though, and I'm just going to be the one who says it, because this is Eastern Europe, homie. This isn't the fucking United States of America. Like, if you think you can tell someone from Ukraine or Russia, you own this thing technically, but please play nicely and share it with people. Like, are you out your motherfucking mind? Like, I'll tell you a story right now. This year, when I brought up all the shit with Blast and all the conflicts of interest they had with Astralis and with all the teams and the other leagues and the fact that they want to major. When I brought up all these, what to anyone in the West are very obvious conflict of interest concerns, all these people who are in the CIS scene, who do like the Starladder desk, for example, like the commentators and all those people, in Russian were having a discussion on Twitter, and I got someone who speaks Russian to translate it for me, right? And their basic premise went like this. Why does he keep going on about conflict of interest? What's the big deal? Because their world is like, that's just all that goes on. Like you just do whatever the fuck you want. It's like mobster mentality. Like, it's my shit. I do what I want. Oh, you want to fuck with me? Destroy this guy. It's like, they're not going to, like, the problem is you have to sort of explicitly tell people like that what the parameters are, what the boundaries are. They're just going to do what they want. It would be the same if you had an event in fucking China or something, mate. Like, they're not going to follow your little cultural rules from across the world and be nice or whatever. Like, imagine that even being a rule. Like, we don't want to tell you not to do this, but be nice, won't you? It's like, that's like some shit your mom tells you before you go to school. You still kick the kid in the fucking head, don't you? Well,
it would be much worse in China. Match fixing, what's the big deal?
Yeah, no, there's still a lot of match fixing that goes on, and
waiting on DK's
even in
report.
Dude, even I've got some stuff recently. I'm considering like compiling it all together and sending it over to. Yeah, no, I'm thankfully I'm out of that now. I can honestly say early on in the CS:GO Lounge days, I got approached once or twice to match fix, and one time it was just like, hey man, if you want to throw this game, we'll get you this, and I just deleted the guy off Steam. And then the second time, it was like these people who were trying to organize this league, where it was like, okay, look, guys, so all right, we're the inner circle, right? And we're gonna make this league. And it's gonna be 8 teams. And it's gonna be 8 teams, and it's gonna be all the bottom tier pro teams and the top MDL teams. And all the games are gonna be fixed. There's gonna be prize money, and we're gonna say like 10,000 for first place, but every single team gets an equal amount. And also you get this percentage of the throws and this and this and I'm just like, and I just sent all of that to ESEA, and because at the time it was like 2014 or 15, like I didn't have any contact with Valve, I didn't know shit. We were playing in the ESEA Premier at the time. And it was just like, all right, I just sent it to them. Nothing ever happened. And one of the guys ended up actually being an admin for ESEA after. So fun little fact there.
I just can't believe though that like with this whole like DMCA thing, like they were so obvious with like Dota. Like they literally said in writing, no one's allowed to send DMCAs other than. And
by the way, they literally did that within
Dota.
A couple of days. That was only a couple of days after that.
It's like during the tournament or whatever. Yeah.
If you want to compare Counter-Strike to Dota and you don't play Dota, just install the game. That's all I ask you to do. It's free. Just install the game and open the game and tell me that they don't care
so
100 times better. More. Like just
the UI,
everything about it is better.
Forever, I've made this analogy, and I've heard lots of people making it, so I'm pretending I'm the only one or something. But Dota is like the firstborn child who is being raised to be king, and CS is like the bastard child that the king's wife had with the fucking stable hand, and you just have to pretend it's your kid so that the royal family doesn't look bad.
I usually take it further than that, Davey. I say that it's the kid that's like the mutant that lives in the attic that you feed fish heads every now and then. Like every night, like the majors, like they come with the barrel of fish heads and they just chuck them on the floor and then they leave for 6 months and come back later. Like that's who we are to Valve, mate.
Y'all eat up.
Oh, it's wild.
The real joke is this. Do you remember when all that shit went down with Too Good and he got fired from that major in Dota famously, and like Gabe Newell himself fired him and said like he's an ass. Like
everyone got involved and made a statement.
He went on Twitter and did it. He said Reddit rather. He made a Reddit post. But this is
Gabe ever said anything about CS?
No.
Has the words Counter-Strike ever left his mouth?
He's done interviews where people have asked him, but he doesn't know much about it. But this is the key point, right? When that happened,
global offensive with it.
Everyone
counts the whole name.
When that happened, everyone kept telling me, like, "Ooh, you better watch out. Gabe Newell will get you fired." I was like, "I've got zero fucking danger of getting fired. What are you talking about? They're not even watching. You fucking moron."
They're really.
This is like I always say, Counter-Strike, we're the latchkey children, because that term in England means you're like the kids who like you get home before your parents do from work, and so you're latchkey because you have your own key. You get in the house, don't you? You can do whatever you want.
Even if the entire Counter-Strike ecosystem stays exactly the same for the next year, I'll know that Valve cares more if I see like Gaben's like belly at the next major, because every freaking international, he'll like say something to the crowd, he'll like raise his hand, and then like his belly just like is popping out from underneath his t-shirt, and it's just like that's how I know it's the That's how I know it's the international. That's how. As
soon as you see like pictures of Gabe's skin, you're just like, oh, all right, the international's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, I never followed Dota. I never followed Dota. I've never played.
I just thought of the darkest thing ever to say. You ready? I'm just going to do it anyway. So here's the thing. Which happens first? Does Gabe Newell attend a CS:GO major or does he die?
I knew. As soon as you said that, I knew exactly where you were going.
Listen, podcasts are all about theory crafting. I just like to.
No, fair point.
Yeah, whatever. Just leave it at that, though. Don't anyone answer that question because you might get.
You might get DMCA'd. might get this channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. Fuck. Anyway, so moving on. Somebody else.
You can't get Thorin high. You can't take what little filter he has away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. I'm already walking a tightrope.
Just don't do it live.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could just edit every now and then.
Yeah, just don't. And if you watch that back after and you're just like, fuck, I cannot put this out there, then you just don't.
No, I feel like Thorin would watch back and be like, upload.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's also another problem, Davey, is remember, half the shit I do, I also press upload or send. Like, my problem is I need someone between me and the thing. Like, you know how many times on By the Numbers, Richard's like,
your middleman.
You know, half the time, Richard's like, timestamp that. I'm like, that should stay in. That was all right. He's like, nah, it's about an entire religion, though. We have to remove it.
Dude, nah, whatever. When we did the counterpoint thing, he edited out my Epstein joke, dude. It wasn't even that bad.
On BTS,
I thought it was pretty funny, to be fair. I thought it was pretty good.
That was a good one. That was
pretty good.
Yeah, but all right. Anyway, so we've almost.
It was dodgy, but it was a good one. It was dodgy. I can't lie.
All right.